Question number 6. Order. Question number 6, Paul Foster-Bell.
Talofa lava, Mr. Speaker. Sir, my question is to the Minister of Education and asks, how is the government assisting New Zealand students who need the most support?
Honourable Hikia Parata.
Talofa lava, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was pleased to announce last week as part of Budget 2015 that this government is investing an extra $62.9 million of operating funding over the next 4 years to better assist children with special education needs to learn and achieve. The funding includes an additional $39.5 million for the ongoing resourcing scheme and $23.3 million for extra in-class teacher aid support. This represents a significant investment in our most vulnerable students and builds on the increased funding under this national government. Spending on special education has increased significantly, up approximately 26% from 2008.
Supplementary question, Paul Foster-Bell.
Supplementary to the Minister of Education, how many children will benefit from this investment?
Honourable Hikia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, the ongoing resourcing scheme supports the children with the highest special education needs. The additional funding in Budget 2015 will provide support for an extra 500 students, taking the total number supported by the scheme to approximately 9,000. The additional spending for in-class teacher aid support will benefit approximately 1,500 students from years 1 to 13. This extra classroom support will assist teachers to personalise students' learning to encourage their participation and achievement.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Talofa lava, Mr. Speaker. How are students most in need being catered for when 60% of the support for NCEA candidates with special needs is going to students at decile 8, 9 and 10 schools, the wealthiest 25% of schools, while only 6% is going to students in the lowest decile schools?
Honourable Hikia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, the number of approved applications for the special assessment conditions, which I believe the member is referring to, increased by 42.8% in 2014. So we are reliant on schools applying, and we have made the eligibility criteria, since it was introduced under that administration with the burden of bureaucracy, we have made it much simpler for schools to apply, and we have seen an increase, and 98.4% of the applications received were approved. There is still work to be done on helping schools to apply, but there is no ceiling on those who do apply.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Given the significant growth in the number of students applying for special assessment conditions over the past few years, and the knowledge that has existed now for several years that those are predominantly in high decile schools, what is the government doing to ensure that students with special needs in low decile schools get access to the same support that students in wealthier areas are getting?
Good question.
Honourable Hikia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, we have made it easier for schools to apply. We've simplified. Well, it is working clearly if the member understood that it has increased significantly in the period that it has been operating. Well, Mr. Speaker, we work with schools, we make it easier, but we don't take the choice away from them to use this. And we have had 98.4% of the applications made approved. Clearly, almost 100% of applications are approved. There is no ceiling. We are working with schools, but schools themselves know which of their kids need the support, and therefore schools need to take advantage of the simplified process.
Question number 7, Dr. David Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Economic Development and asks, how much smaller in percentage terms